dedicate the art.
Hi everyone, I hope everyone is doing well. So in this week's weekly update video, I want to talk about the injury that I sustained today, although I don't think it's that serious, as well as how my week in general went. So I started out this week with some squats and with some close grip bench and things like that. I think a couple other things. Those are the two big things. With it, close grip bench went great. I worked up to 265 for sets of 3, and those all moved well. With those, my elbow was kind of iffy, but there was nothing serious with that. But my hip or whatever was still kind of tight, so I was going to work up heavier than what I did, but I stopped at, I believe it was 345 for sets of 3, and just did a whole bunch of sets of 3 with that, just because my power hasn't really been affected with it as much as it's just the pain tolerance. And so if I do a couple reps and just do a lot of sets, it's generally better with that. But moving on into the week, I had some, like a hang clean, power clean, hip clean complex thing that I did one of the days, as well as some front squats, and I worked up to heavy pauses with those because, like I said, the common theme was that my hip was kind of iffy. And the pauses actually weren't too bad on my leg, and the front squats generally are a little bit better because they're more into the front part of my quad with that. And when I went in yesterday, I did some push press as well as some bench press, and I did some rows as well. So I basically did all upper body stuff yesterday. The close grip, I went to 245 for sets of 5. My bicep tendon was kind of tender on that one, but it wasn't too terrible with that, and it could have been I think it's just more, it's overuse obviously, but it's from doing curls the previous day, as well as doing push press right before I did the close grip bench, which that was a really good note for this week, is that I was able to hit a new PR with my push press with 185 for 2 reps, almost 3, but I got stuck there on that 3rd rep, and my previous best was 185 for a single rep, so doubling my previous max for another rep with that. So I'm very happy with how that's going. Push presses have been feeling really good, and all of that, so that's all positive with that. I had some snatch work mixed in throughout the week before, not too much. Though, I mean, it all went well, it's just my hip or whatever has been kind of limiting with it. So I went in today aware that I've been, continuing to have whatever hip issues or IT band or any of that, and I wanted to squat today, but I was going to be very conservative and just work, massage it out, take a lot of warm-up sets, and just be really conservative with the warm-ups with it. And then so that's what I did. I did 2 sets of 10 with the bar, 2 sets of 10 with 135, and then 185 for a set of 10, then 225 for 2 sets of 5, and then like 2 sets of 5 up to, I think I did that with 315. And like I kept doing it, and it was a little bit better, but what I found is that when I let my knees track a little bit forward, it helped take a little bit of the strain off my hips with that, because whatever reason, that helped a little bit, and I think it puts me in a better position instead of being back more, since that will have a tendency to put my put the weight into my hips and back, which is not ideal for the squat, obviously, especially if I'm doing high bar. Low bar squats are a little bit more strenuous to do, so I had originally had that planned for today, but I decided to change those to high bar beltless squats with that. And I won't dive too much into the specifics of the workout, but that's where I injured my back, and I made a workout vlog, which will cover, I guess, more of the specifics of what went on with that workout. But essentially, I worked to a heavy single, and the previous single before that is the one where my back twinged, and it was very similar to what I had like a year ago when I was deadlifting, where I felt a twinge, but I still was able to complete the lift. And I won't tell you which weight that I twinged it on, or, well, I suppose you'll be able to figure it out because it'll be towards the end of the video, and I only did 2 heavy singles, and so that's a pretty big hint of which one I did it, or maybe it's not. Who knows with that. But looking back at the video, there isn't anything like, oh my gosh, the weight fell off my back, or I just fell over and laid on the ground or something like that. I still finished the lift, and then I went up and I did another heavy single with that. So I wasn't affected in that regard. I just wasn't able to do more deadlift stuff. But the previous day, and then I forgot to mention, I did a little bit of good mornings, and you'll see this in the video at some point. And that was the first time I'd done that in a while. So I think a little bit of the good mornings, the rows, things like that, but a little bit extra strain on my back, and caused me to kind of tweak it like that. Right now it kind of hurts with it, but it definitely reminds me of the pain that I had before when I was deadlifting, and it just kind of twitched or twinged or whatever, and then I was just really sore for a couple days. So I'm envisioning that is happening. So the implication of that sort of thing happening is that I'll probably be doing a lot more upper body stuff, and I will be very conservative with what I'm doing with my legs for the next couple days, and it can only benefit my hip and IT band, because I think for the time being I really need to work on that continuously and get that to feel good. And next week is supposed to be a like a max rep type thing with it, and I was going to be really conservative with squats, and now I'll probably be really conservative with deadlifts as well, but I'll probably treat the bench still the same. If my back feels fine in the next couple days, then I'll just go normal with that sort of stuff, and hopefully do something. I'll have to plan that out of what I want to do with that. What I most likely will do is still be conservative with squats and deadlift, and just do a heavy single with that, and not try to do some sort of double or triple with either one of those lifts, regardless of how my back and hip feel. But in a perfect world, because I did 385 today with squats, ideally I would like to try something over 400 for a high bar squat for a single. That may be a bit of a stretch, since the heaviest I think I've ever gone was 390 or 395, I forget, with that. And with deadlifts, it just will really depend on how I feel. They've been feeling really good from a deficit with that, so I ideally more than 565, so maybe 575, maybe 580, 580 if that feels good. But like I said, I'm going to be very conservative with those. And with bench, I would like to do 285 for a set of 3 if that's possible. If not, maybe just do a couple sets of 2 or something like that. It's still kind of up in the air, because I generally plan my workouts for the upcoming week on Sundays, because I generally, if I work out on Sundays, it's generally not that in-depth with stuff. It's usually just accessory work, and I won't be going in tomorrow because of my back thing. I'm not going to make myself go and do curls and stuff and whatever and all of that sort of shenanigans. But all in all, I don't think it's a very serious thing, and I think it's something that I just need to take it easy for a day or two, and just really focus on the mobility stuff, and just not trying to kill myself any more than what I'm trying to do, and just really get back at it. But all in all, besides really that tweak thing, like I don't know if this is because my back hurts, my hip doesn't hurt, but my hip did very well today with it, and just with lots of warm-up sets, they felt good, and I really didn't feel like the tenderness or the tightness or whatever that I feel with it went away as I went to my heavier and heavier sets with it. So I'm going to keep that in mind, to do lots and lots of warm-up sets and work on it, and be really strict about doing that sort of thing, and not just kind of just go and just bar, plate, just kind of build like that, but really focus on just warming up that area with it until it's not really a problem. But it's not going to be a bad thing for me to warm up more, since I have a tendency to get hyped up and want to just jump to working weights, especially when I'm excited or when I'm working to something really heavy that day, at least relative to what I usually do with that. But I guess it was a good week of training. It was I PR'd in the push press, which is always a good thing, and bench press and all of that went well, and even leg squats today went well, so even despite the injury with that. And deadlifts, when I did those, went well as well with those. But I think the deficits are just what I needed for those, to get me moving faster off the ground, and it just makes everything with the deadlift move more efficiently with that. So hopefully, as I work to heavier weights with those, that trend continues with really all my lifts, that I'm able to kind of continue to move well with that. But that's really about it that I have for this form focus video in its entirety. I'll give you a brief update about what I plan to upload this week, hopefully on Tuesday. And I do apologize for not posting the video on Friday, the car rant video that I posted on Saturday today, and not on Friday, because I woke up feeling like garbage, and I wanted to focus on getting to school and getting to work on time, and not trying to get a video uploaded in the morning or any of that, because I just felt like garbage Thursday night and Friday morning, and I just wasn't having it with that. But on Tuesday, my form focus video will be a video with me talking about how to improve squat depth and things like that. So that's a video on that topic. And I do think I have a video planned for later in the week, but I know I definitely have that form focus video to post a little later. Maybe I don't. Maybe I will just live stream or something this week. I don't know. I have to kind of think about that, but I definitely have obviously this video to put up on Sunday tomorrow, and then I have that form focus video, which will be on increasing squat depth for squats, obviously, but that will be up on Tuesday, and I have those, or I'll have that squat video. It's both done, as well as this one, obviously, since you're watching it now. Maybe you're not at this point, but yeah, I'll end my rambling here. So if you have any thoughts or comments about anything I talked about, or any questions and whatnot, please leave those down below. And as always, thanks for watching, and have a wonderful day.